Today's video is really the result of an experiment I did this summer with some whipped cream soap. And if you've never seen the whipped cream soap, it's pretty popular right now among soap maker channels. And essentially it is regular soap, but it's whipped until it looks like your traditional whipped cream. So this recipe doesn't actually have any dairy products in it. It's just really the name, whipped cream soap. So what I did was I experimented with a recipe that I found online, and I will post the description in the description box down below. What I found when making this whipped cream soap is that it's very similar to making liquid soap. And if you've ever made liquid soap, you know that you're gonna cook your ingredients in like a slow cooker. And you end up with sort of a paste at the end, and that paste you typically dilute into a liquid soap. So in this case, the process is really similar in that you cook all of your ingredients in a slow cooker. But then just before you're done, you do what they call a super cream phase, and essentially you're adding in additional stearic acid, glycerin, and in my experiment I added in water in one of these, and I didn't add water in the other at the cream phase, or the super cream phase. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer the one where I didn't add water at the super cream phase. Mostly because once I whip it, it stays together better. I found with the one where I added water to it, within a couple of days, the water actually started to separate out. And so I would have this, you know, undesirable layer of water at the bottom of my container, and that's really not what I want. So as far as, you know, the product staying emulsified once it's been whipped, definitely the version that doesn't have water added at the super cream phase is what I prefer. And I did another little experiment here as well. This side is the batch I made that had water in it, and this side is the batch I made that didn't have water added at the super cream phase. And so what I found, I wanted to see how they would react, both batches would react if left open in the air. And so I've left these open in my soap room, which does have a dehumidifier constantly running. So it's a drier room of the house. So I don't necessarily know that the results of this rather casual experiment would be the same in a bathroom environment, because obviously a bathroom environment is going to be much more humid. But I just wanted to see how each of them responded. So this side that has the water added at the super cream phase, I found it does get pretty hard at when just left open to the air, right? So that's actually not so bad, because I know that it would keep the piping shape if I piped it in a container and that container was left open to the air for some reason. This side here is the one where I didn't add water at the super cream phase, and it kept its shape as well. However, it's definitely much softer than the side that I added the water on. So this is just an example of, you know, some of the I would say it's more casual type experimentation of how my products are gonna hold up in different environments. Even though this one ends up, the one with no water added at the cream phase, ends up more soft if left open to the air, I still prefer going with this one because once it's been whipped up and colorants have been added and fragrances have been added, there's absolutely no separation of any sort of water or fragrance if the product's left to sit in a closed container. Whereas the one where I added water at the cream phase, definitely that water ends up sort of leaching out and makes a really undesirable product. That also said, the one with water would require a preservative because whenever you add water into a product, even if it's distilled water or boiled water, you know, water definitely breeds bacteria, and so you'd need to add a preservative into the one that has water added at the super cream phase. So I like to stay away from preservatives as much as possible, which is another reason why I'm gonna go with the one that doesn't have any water added to it, because it's gonna be stable, shelf stable a little longer. So anyways, I'm going to get into showing you how I whip this up and how I package it. Another thing I forgot to mention in my last little segment there is that this is made with all natural ingredients. So it's made with oils, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, there's glycerin, there's stearic acid. I think I used shea butter as well. I will, again, I'll post the link down below. So I do believe that some of the other fluffy whip soaps you'll find out there are gonna hold their shape better. But if you're looking for something that, you know, you can advertise as a more natural alternative, I think this is a perfect way to go. So this has actually been whipped a little bit already. When you see it, when it hasn't been whipped, it actually just looks like a typical liquid soap base. So it's that sort of pasty, off-white kind of color. But I did try whipping this a little bit already. So I'm gonna pour some off into a bowl, add some coloring and fragrance, and then pipe it into the container. I'm sure you've all seen this trick before, where you lay down a piece of press and seal and then you line up, whether it's your fluffy soap that you're piping or if you're just piping cold processed soap. And this method gives you a little more definition in your piping. I find it's easier to load in your piping bag, and the colors don't get so muddled as you're loading them. So you'll notice when I mixed this up, I left the blue on the beater sticks, so it's given me a really, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but a very nice icy blue kind of color, which matches this fragrance very well. Okay, so what we do now is we're just going to kind of squish this together. You just kind of grab it at the top, make sure the press and seal sticks together. Then you tighten it down and kind of turn it into like a log roll, jelly roll, something like that. So that will work. I'm just going to twist off the one end. And for the other end, I'm going to trim it a little bit. And I'll just leave a little opening kind of in the middle there for the piping to come out. I'll load it into my piping bag. Sorry, doing a close-up here because my other camera battery died. But essentially, I want to include a spoon with this as well, because you really want to scoop the product out and put it on the poof with something that may not be as wet as your hands will be when you're in the shower or bath. So what I'm going to do is just sort of tape it to the side. I am going to tape up this hole on top, and then I will shrink wrap the top here and throw my labels on the front, and then this is all ready to go. So super cute. I have been using these in my bathroom for, oh geez, a couple of months now, and so much fun. Hi guys, a little voiceover here. It's actually been about a month since I've let these whipped cream soaps sit in these containers, and I'm not pleased with the way the soap has sort of deflated. It's still really soft and lovely, but it's not quite up to the quality that I would prefer when I'm selling something. So I'm going to do a little bit more research, see if I can put some sort of additive in it that will make the whipped cream soap a little bit more stable or firmer, so that it keeps the beautiful colors and design while it's sitting in the container. So anyways, I think I would probably ultimately call this one a fail in terms of if you're going to end up with a product that you actually want to sell. However, I've been using this at home, and so have my kids, even though the whipped cream part has sort of deflated, and we still love it. It's still super fun to play with. So anyways, if you try this recipe, I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you're able to use it at home. But again, I would call this a fail in terms of ending up with a product that you might want to sell. Well, I appreciate you watching my video. I hope to see you all on the next one. And if you enjoy my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and perhaps even leave me a comment. I really look forward to hearing from you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.